Imagine discovering a fossil so strange that, even after decades of research, scientists still can't agree on what it was. Not a fish, not a worm, not a squid. It looked like someone had combined several completely unrelated animals into one impossible creature, a long, soft body, eyes sticking out on a horizontal bar, and a claw-like mouth sitting at the end of an extendable trunk. This wasn't a creature from science fiction. It was real. It lived around 307 million years ago, long before dinosaurs ever walked the earth. Today, it is known as the Tully monster, one of the most mysterious fossils ever discovered. And despite thousands of specimens, scientists are still trying to answer one simple question. What exactly was it? Our story begins in 1958. An amateur fossil collector named Francis Tully was exploring an abandoned coal mine near Braidwood, Illinois. The area was famous for preserving ancient marine life inside layers of dark shale. While searching through the rocks, Tully noticed something unusual. It wasn't like any fossil he had ever seen. The body was soft and elongated. Near the front stretched a long, flexible tube. At the end of that tube was a strange, pincer-like mouth. Even stranger were the eyes. Instead of sitting on the head, they were attached to a rigid bar stretching across the body like the handlebars of a bicycle. Tully had no idea what he had found. Neither did professional scientists. The fossil was unlike anything in museum collections. Eventually, researchers described it as an entirely new species. To honor its discoverer, they named it Tullimonstrum gregarium, or simply the Tully monster. To understand the Tully monster, we have to travel back over 300 million years. Illinois looked nothing like it does today. Instead of farms and forests, much of the region was covered by shallow tropical coastal waters. Dense swamps surrounded the coastline. Huge club mosses towered above the landscape. Giant ferns stretched across humid wetlands. Dragonflies with wingspans larger than modern hawks filled the skies. The oceans were equally strange. Early sharks cruised through muddy water. Ancient jellyfish drifted with the currents. Primitive fish swam among soft corals. The Tully monster lived within this rich ecosystem. Its body probably measured between 30 and 35 centimeters long. Unlike animals with hard shells or bones, its body was mostly soft tissue. Normally, creatures like this disappear after death. Yet, the unique conditions of Illinois preserved thousands of them in remarkable detail. Without this extraordinary fossil site, the Tully monster might have remained unknown forever. At first glance, the Tully monster almost seems impossible. Its body was long and flattened, ending in a broad tail that may have helped it swim. Running along its sides were fins that likely stabilized the animal in the water. The most recognizable feature was its incredible eye bar. Each eye sat at opposite ends of a stiff, horizontal rod. Scientists believe this unusual arrangement gave it an extremely wide field of vision. Instead of turning its body, it may have been able to monitor almost everything happening around it. Then, there was the feeding organ. Extended from the front of its body was a narrow, flexible proboscis. At the tip sat a claw-like structure lined with small teeth. Rather than biting like a shark, it may have reached into the mud to grab worms, crustaceans, or other small animals hiding beneath the sediment. This design suggests an active predator rather than a passive filter feeder. Yet almost every feature raises new questions. No living animal combines these characteristics in quite the same way. That is exactly why scientists have argued about its identity for decades. Since its discovery, researchers have proposed nearly every possibility imaginable. Some believed it was a marine worm. Others suggested it was related to mollusks like squids. Some compared it to sea slugs. Others argued it belonged to an entirely unknown group of extinct animals. Then, in 2016, a major study seemed to solve the mystery. Using advanced imaging techniques, researchers claimed the Tully monster possessed features found in vertebrates. They identified what appeared to be a notochord, a flexible rod that supports the body in primitive vertebrates. They also reported structures resembling gill pouches and simple cartilage. If true, the Tully monster could have been an ancient relative of modern lampreys, jawless fish that still survive today. For a moment, the mystery seemed solved. But science rarely ends that simply. Soon afterward, other scientists re-examined the same fossils. They argued that many of those supposed vertebrate features had been misinterpreted. The notochord might not actually be a notochord. The gills might not be gills. Even the eyes may have been analyzed incorrectly. Instead of settling the debate, the new research reopened it. Today, scientists remain divided. Some still classify it as a vertebrate. Others disagree entirely. The Tully monster remains one of paleontology's greatest unanswered questions. Although we still don't know exactly what the Tully monster was, scientists can make educated guesses about how it lived. Its tail suggests it was an efficient swimmer. Its wide-set eyes probably helped detect predators approaching from different directions. Its extendable feeding organ may have searched through soft mud, while the animal remained safely above the bottom. It likely hunted small worms, shrimp-like creatures, and other tiny invertebrates. At the same time, it had to avoid becoming prey itself. Ancient sharks and larger fish shared these waters. Survival depended on quick reactions and constant awareness. The Tully monster was only one piece of an incredibly complex carboniferous ecosystem filled with evolutionary experiments unlike anything alive today. The Tully monster reminds us that evolution has produced forms of life stranger than our imagination. Despite thousands of beautifully preserved fossils, scientists still cannot confidently place this animal on the tree of life. Every new fossil, every new scanning technique, every new scientific study brings us a little closer to understanding this incredible creature. Perhaps one day the mystery will finally be solved, or perhaps the Tully monster will remain exactly what it has been for over half a century. One of Earth's greatest prehistoric enigmas. If you enjoyed exploring one of history's strangest extinct animals, don't forget to subscribe, because there are countless other forgotten creatures waiting to reveal the secrets of Earth's distant past.